Hello. I'm looking for... All right, let's fix this. Okay, somebody sent me a bug report as a screenshot of their screen, so I have to type the text. Fortunately, it's not that much text, but we must type it nonetheless. I don't even know where the fuck these are defined. Oh god, it's a postfix caster. Okay. So the const cast is apparently returning a different result from the non-const cast. I'm taking some liberties with what the program was. All right. Where the fuck is this? Math. All right, see? These two numbers should be the same. They are not the same. Also, however, I meant to do this, not line up the name. All right, that is a problem. It honestly should not be that hard to fix. I'm a little bit surprised. Let's just see. Let's see if we have the same problem if we change. Like, by how much do we need to change this? Oops. Okay. So it's literally an off by one error in the checking, probably. Wait. Wait. This should be... This actually should match that. Oh boy. What? Oh, but actually, no, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Because the float does not have integer, does not have as much precision. Float 64 does, see? But float 32 is going to round you anyway. Yeah, that could have been confused. If I didn't have a lot of programming experience, that would have been confusing. All right. So it looks like just an off by one error. It shouldn't be bad. We just got to figure out where this cast happens and all that. Why are people defending boatloads of dependencies? I didn't see that. I saw one guy. Did this happen later today? Did the NPM army show up in force later today? I thought Doom Dark Ages, it is a thoroughly mediocre game in many ways, but I thought it got pretty fun in the middle of the game, and then it became unfun again at the end. No, it's not postfix cast. That's not the problem. Watch, I'll show you. Postfix cast is the same internally as non-postfix cast. So here we have the problem. If I change it to cast float here, it's going to do literally exactly the same thing. There's no difference. Don't worry about that. Didn't I fix something like this before? I guarantee you I've fixed like 3 things like this. You'll resend. No, I have the computer slowdown issue. Don't worry about that. I've got a backlog of things I haven't fixed, but I do have the slowdown email. Okay. So this is either going to be happening in ConstExpert or just in Typer. Actually, let me just triple check something here. So that has the same bug, even with tremendously more precision. Which is actually kind of weird. Honestly, I'm not sure I get that. We're really going to have to look. Okay, so I believe from memory there's a function called ConstExpert cast number to number. Look, I know the code in ConstExpert. Okay. So if we're casting to float, that'll be our float and not a float. That'll be this. Wow, that doesn't look like it's oh shit. Okay. No, I know the problem. The problem is let me look at this. Wait, no, we don't want that one. Do we? So do we have multiple AS64s? Register. Right. There must be a third one? Like code bases number. Number is a literal. So there's got to be an S as S64 asked. No. What? Oh, we're not searching the H files here, dude. Usually I use Visual Studio for this. There we go. That's the one we're looking for. Okay, so here we're dereferencing this directly. This goes back to, hold on. This goes back to some stuff that is really, really old decisions that I tried to make and then I reversed later and they didn't always get fixed. So what we really want is as S64, whoops, of this. And That'll fix the problem. And the reason is because just different sizes of it might be initialized. It's not necessarily sign extended all the time. Wait, what did the function take? Bits. Oh. We need to get the size from the number of flags. Target bits. Where's target bits? Target bits. So, and then is this in bits? Yeah. Easy. All right. Okay, we don't. Well, we'll do really spelled. Didn't work. I guaranteed it would work. Didn't work. What does that make me? All right, let's do cowabunga-oriented programming. Usually when that happens, it's because we're editing the wrong code for some reason. Okay, well, actually, we just cowabunga'd, all right? So what are the... the bits is target bits. The result is A. Dude, Visual Studio is so slow at compiling. We're compiling one C++. This, when people ask me why, like, we just took like 10 or 15 seconds to incremental build one C++ file with like a one-line change. That is why I don't like any of this stuff. All right. Bit 64. Oh, because we're using target bits. That's wrong. We don't want target bits. We want source bits, guys. Wait, does that mean there's a bug in the other thing? Why is this using target bits? That's the wrong bits. We don't have a non-target bits. So we're going to make a source bits here. Source bits, please. Source bits, please. No, it's not ready. It takes so long. It's still not done. There, finally it's done. Okay. Okay. The code is correct, guys. The code is correct. This is either user error or we are encouraging user error, and here is why. I'll tell you why right now. Actually, no. Nope. It is not user error. Never mind. Okay, I had assumed that these didn't have type tags because in my brain I'm always trying to jump to what's the issue. No, these have type tags. So our bits should be 32 when we're printing source bits, right? Wait, did I change the print? I said target bits, by the way. Okay, that's my bad. My bad. I bought a jump to conclusions mat of Temu, and it's on my doorstep. All right, there we go. There we go. Bits 32 result blah, and we run it, and it's correct. See, we ripped and tore until it was done. Sometimes it's not great. Now, what the hell is going up here? Signed source value. As signed in the target type. Oh, no, I think this is intentional. Okay, let's make sure. Okay, we got to take out our Cowabunga. Oh, we did. We didn't rebuild for 20 minutes. Look how fucking long this takes, guys. This entire compiler and LLVM and all that, the entire compiler is the bell curve meme, and it's the guy with the glasses who's sweating really hard in the middle. That's what all this crap is. Okay, so we're going to make sure the Cowabungas are gone. The answers are correct. We're just going to copy this. Let's assert. Okay, you know what? Okay, first of all, these fucking Fult abbreviations really piss me off. Okay, we got to fix all sorts of weird things that I did. Okay, so float 1, float 2. Like, just write the word. FLT doesn't save you anything. And, like, your brain can't say it. Just, like, put the word. I mean, I guess the argument is you're trying to line up all these types, and FLT is 3 letters like int or whatever, but yeah, that's not a good reason. All right. Okay. There we go. We're going to make that a new test. We're going to add that. And we're going to run tests. Boom. While this is going, I will send an email. This is fixed in the next beta. Thanks for the report, bro. All right. Cool. Now I'm just looking through. I want to send a new beta soon. Soon. We want to deliver value to the people soon. So the question is, what is the most important value? There's a bunch of things. All right, let's take the W for this. Commit. Fix a const expert cast bug. Oh, we didn't put it in the changelog either. Fixed incorrect results when casting constant signed integers to floating point values. Okay. Let me just look at something. Okay, that's weird. So someone was are you using an old version of SDL? I am looking at the current one and it defines texture as an empty struct, which provides better type checking and avoids this problem. Okay. Somebody reported a bug and they were like, type checking is getting confused in a certain way. And I was like, I don't think that's true. And it turned out their SDL file had this. I think it was like literally this. And then they were passing a pointer texture into a function. And that's, of course, pointer to void, which will auto cast to whatever pointer type you want, right? So that was funny. Funny, haha. Something I don't have to fix. Figure out how to make the linker faster. All went over your head. Well, if it went over your head, why should I watch the video? I mean, yeah, there's a third-party linker called Mold that we could ship, but I was not really convinced that it would be a good idea. Wait, this is something else? This is a different thing than Mold. I kind of said, so the problem is, if somebody made a linker, that's fine. We really need much faster linkers, but, and I'll watch this video later, but we can't ship a random ass linker that doesn't support certain features, right? So that's the question. Like, you know, you need to be able to set the entry point in the frickin' linker comment for the thing or whatever, right? Okay. I'm still looking through email topics. Let me scroll back because we had a bunch of stuff that we didn't see. All right. Let's fix this. Compiler modify procedure does not like push context defer pop. The following program does not compile because compiler modify procedures call functions that have push context deferred pop. Yeah, that makes sense because defer pop is like a new thing. All right. Boom, imported push context has a null to push pointer. All right, this is probably pretty easy to fix. So ask push context is a thing. It's got push context flags, which include is backticked and defer pop. All right, so are these getting exported? Push context flags. All right. Are they getting imported? Uh-oh. They are. So are those getting cleared somewhere? Are those... I was hoping we just weren't doing the flags. Wait, imported push... Oh, wait. No. This is... I see. Imported. This is this. Okay, so this is fine. This is just old. We didn't modify this error message. Because this used to be totally illegal, but now it's legal. Like that. It takes so long to compile. Okay, so now we've got a different problem. It's marked defer pop, but it also has a block. So this means, yeah, we just have to modify this a little bit. So here, there's a block structure. Wait. Yeah. Let's actually do it this way. We'll do the positive case. We'll go else. All right. So if it's defer pop, dude, I keep banging the capital letters here. Is marked defer pop, but its block has statements inside. So this is just checking for various, like there. So People pass arbitrary syntax trees that they constructed back to this importer, and there's like an infinite number of ways that that data could be malformed. So there's tons and tons and tons of checking that we haven't put in here, that we mostly haven't put, but you know, once in a while when we can put some, it might help someone out. So this is just like, look, we're just going to check that. All right. And then we're going to put that in there. And we'll see what happens. We'll wait 15 years to compile again. $4,000 computer. All right. Hey! All right. Now we will build the tests again just to make sure we didn't break something. We will let the tests rip and tear until it is done. We'll run LLVM this time, which will be a little slower. Why are there two C's, different cases? Okay, capital C means it's a pointer member that needs to be treated recursively, basically, right? And lowercase c means it's just a data member that you can just copy the data, like copy the memory without doing anything special. What is an imported push context? Imported just means you resubmitted the procedure body because it got modified or something like that. All right. See, we've already fixed two values for the people. Maybe I should watch Andor and go to bed. I can't bring myself to watch Andor episode 3, dude. People say it gets better as it goes along, but I don't know whether to trust that. Fix. Oh, we should also put it in the changelog. Don't you wish that major commercial software that you used fixed this many bugs a day? Times the number of programmers that they have? You know? Okay. Fixed. How do you say this? An incorrectly generated error message when importing push con defer pop via compiler modify procedure. Okay. Look at all the value, dude. All right. Let me just copy that message. Lazy copy. Changelog is out of... What? Changelog is out of date? No, it's just that the... No, it was out of date. All right. Early slog episodes are all paid off by episode 6. Okay. I mean... You use open source stuff for the most part. Don't you wish open source projects fixed bugs? Like, how is there Linux and it never gets better? Like, ever? How is there Windows and it never gets better? Like, ever? Like, what is people's problem? All right, we'll do one more thing, and then I'll try and watch Andor. Okay. Crash report. Following code demonstrates a compiler crash. Let's take a look at that. He has more later in the email, but we're going to look at this. Okay. Well, a related issue was reported by someone else as of the beta that's about to go out. Or maybe last one. This is the error message. I'm not sure if this helps you since you probably really want it to just work. But it's better than crashing, question mark. All right. This is a thing that we didn't actually solve anything, so this won't count as our one thing, but yeah, this is a pain in the ass that I don't want to deal with right now. We'll see where the conversation goes about that one. A user complained about the following code always gives the same result. And we should have, yes, this was a discussion we had on Discord a while back. Let's do this. So this is not, this is not really, it's not exactly a compiler bug. It's more like a user code, not even quite, or user level code, but the libraries that we distribute with the compiler. Not exactly bug, but like bad behavior that's not good. Like you want, see this? See how we're always getting the same result? It's because the seed's going to be the same every time, right? And why is that? Well, it's not that it always generates. Oh, well. Okay, first of all, I actually have no idea why the seed is the same every time. So never mind. Why is this the same every time? Oh, because we just started up. Right, so monotonic. Oh, well, this is... See, if we do this... Okay, hold on. So if we do this, it also should change every time. And it's also not changing. What? Current time consensus. Get system file time precise as file time. Like what? I am confused. All right, FT now. FT now. FT now is different. Time is not different. That is not how it is supposed to be. Wait, no, time is different. Wait. It's just got the same low digits. Oh my God. All right. Okay, so that's the problem. So we're sort of generating low digits. It is changing up here. All right, duh. Great. So we're just generating low digits. Okay. And that may be true for monotonic as well. Let's see. Because it... Yeah, so we just have the same low order bits all the time. Because those, yeah. All right. All right. So, because these are like actually beyond the precision of our timer, but we're adding them from a base value or something, right? Okay. So, instead of making people do weird stuff like this, first of all, let's figure out what gives us a good result. And then we'll give people a function to seed from the time value instead of, yeah, that'll be the thing. So let me copy back this stuff. All right. So instead of this, I mean, what is the state? It's got two U64s. So we might as well just literally make it the time value, right? I mean, why not? Context.random state.low is time.low. Probably going to have to cast one of these, right? Or both. Yeah, the high one. Oops. It's not called, oh, random state. Duh. State. State. Okay. So we're getting different results every time, see? Now, because we're just setting the seed to all the information that we have available. And it's fine. Okay. Okay. This is fixed in the next beta, though I would point out okay. This is what you're using at the moment. Discord app detected. God, what the fuck is wrong with everybody? Just open the link. What is happening? My Discord is a giant... Thanks for detecting Discord. What? Let's just close a lot of this bad software that doesn't work anyway. Like, what is even happening right now? All right. Wait. Okay, it did something. Okay. Now, can I open app? It didn't, oh, there it is. Make random seed. RD seed. What? We have an RD seed in Machine X64. I mean, I think that's a... Yeah. You also put time monotonic. That doesn't seem good. But also, like, having the seed be a U64 is limiting. I know that we had this seed function being a U64, but you know, this, as this comment says, here's what we'll do. Oh, no, you can say this. Yeah. So this gets used. Oh, we got to do that. We're not doing that. All right. So I'm just going to do random seed, random state, time is an Apollo time. And we're going to go state.low is time.low, time.high, like that. All right, and here we're just going to go random seed well, we also want this version. I don't know why I was into putting spaces here. All right, so this version is just, if you want to seed via get, via current time consensus or current time monotonic. All right, so random seed, context random state time. All right. So that is where we are at. Unable to parse. Oh, I put the no check. I was playing with cast syntax a while ago, and I did some things. Undeclared different. Oh, this doesn't. Oh no! Right. So here we have a classic problem where we're trying to keep things modular. And wait, do we import basic here? If we do, should we just frickin' import basic in this? I don't know. Right, so this is the problem, is we can't really supply a convenience function between two things that are decoupled. Like neither of these imports the other one. So what do we do about that? We could have a module parameter where it's like, hey, if you imported basic. This is an interesting thing where like maybe we should have a feature that's like, dude, if you imported basic, just import it here. Like a conditional import that only imports if something already existed. But of course, the question is, when does that get evaluated, right? Could it be a macro? But then, like, we can't reference the type, right? So yes, you could make it a macro, but you would be not doing type checking, which might be okay. It would have to be a polymorphic macro, right, is what I'm saying. It wouldn't even have to be a macro, actually. It could just be polymorphic. But you just wouldn't be able to type check the argument. We could do that. That's probably better than a module parameter. It feels a little bit messy to me. Make a different module ditch a stupid function. Yeah, I don't like where that goes after you make 7,000 modules. Maybe have one that takes any. I mean, here's what we could do. Here's what we could do. You guys got me thinking, all right? You guys got me thinking. So this is an S128, right? Which is int 128. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go interface my big time value. Or just a big time value, right? Okay. Can you smell what the rock is cooking? I got to remember, I'm not programming in C++. this is actually... Wait, what? Oh, I said A. I was like, wait, why didn't it work? Ta-da! So that's pretty good. Okay. The following definitions of random seed are meant to work with Apollo time, since a common monotonic, since a common thing to do is to seed your random number generator at startup with the current time. However, random and basic are decoupled currently. So, there's no way to refer to Apollo time. So we define some big time value to match it, and it also matches S128. So you can use other large values if you want. Okay. I mean, I don't totally love how many lines of code that is, but you know, it's mostly comment. It's fine. Current time. Ah, yes, thank you. It used to be called get time something, and then I renamed them all at one point. You know, there's some Emacs keystroke that just does what I just did there manually. And I forgot it 20 years ago and I never bothered to make it work again. Current time monotonic. Yes. Okay. So we have delivered value to the people. Some other procedure parameters still have excessive. All right, let's see. State, boom. We'll leave that. I don't know. We're probably not going to do stuff like this with inline assembly anymore. I have a different plan. It'll take a little bit to manifest, but there's now a different plan. All right. Okay, let's just make sure we didn't break something. There's one with space colon U64, space colon U64. I think I got it. Wait, no, space colon space U60. Well, those are, oh, that one right there. Boom. Boom. All right. Yeah, if Apollo time changes, then that should probably change. or maybe you would introduce a third set of random seeds. That's fine. But, you know, it's programming, man. Forgot interface existed. It does not get used a lot, but it sure got used here. All right, let's make sure Sokoban compiles. So we also want to do a new Sokoban release soon. There's some, we're doing some graphic stuff that is broken right this second, so giving it a day or two to shake out. And then there's a little bit more Antipode stuff that I want to play through and test and make sure it works. There's also a graphics thing that's, yeah, still broken there. Anyhow. Maybe that's just a short stream, right? You know what, though? In Sokoban, I'm sure we're seeding the random number generator with the time. In some way, we could just check what we're doing there. All right. Look, it works. Okay. Oh, let me show you this. Do you want to see one of the cool gameplay things that I frickin' did? Okay, with the power of the transaction system. Did you see me run smoothly over that button? Look at that shit. He's not like stalling on the button, dude. Alright. Anyway. Why was he stalling before? Because, okay, it's complicated to try to explain, but basically, okay, so you stand on a button, we make a whole transaction that's like some objects are moving and they end up on the button. And then at the end of that, when that transaction is done, we say, hey, check all the button states. Should stuff open or close? And if the answer is yes, then we make a new thing that's like, okay, those things are opening or closing. And we want all these actions to take time because that's what makes the game feel playable and smooth, right? Is things aren't teleporting around from square to square and so on. Now, a lot of the time in a level, though, like if you intend to be pressing a button, it's not a big deal for your guy to stand on the button while the button takes time to move because that's what you're trying to do. It all makes sense. But if you're just incidentally running over the button, which happens a lot, then it kind of sucks that your guy is like stalling on the button. But he needs to, in principle, because broadly speaking, like these things need to be one simultaneous action in terms of player moves. Like you're not allowed to do anything between them. Otherwise puzzles would break. So yeah. Okay. Do seed left shift 1 or 1, otherwise you have duplicates and incremental inputs. Okay, the input, the units are like 10 to the minus 24 seconds or something. It's like faster than the clock rate of your computer. So, I'm not worried about that. Puzzle Cheese could be good if the whole game is about that. Yeah, you could imagine a puzzle game that's about breaking the gameplay. This is not that game, however. U64A, S64B would also work? No. So to match interface, it has to have the same names and the same values. But they don't have to be in the same place, and there could be lots of other struct stuff in the struct. So you could have a giant struct with 1,000 members, and if those two names are bound to those types inside there somewhere, it would work. Okay. We're going to take the W on that. We're going to go modules random. Okay. Cool. So we took care of that, and maybe that's it for tonight. It's like going on 10:30. We've been streaming for an hour and 10 minutes. Kind of crazy that I only started streaming at 9:10 p.m. I went out to the park and I was doing some exercises in the park. Probably till 8 something. And then I feel like I came back and directly just sat down and started this. Oh no, I did some stuff first. I did some DNS and MX record and SPF record stuff. That took a while. Okay. Some colleges wouldn't even let a class file be this full of text. Yeah, I know, man. Look, I don't know what to say. This isn't even that much work, right? Like, I mean, it is in terms of like different features impact people to a different magnitude, right? So this one that we just did, it's useful if you cared about it, but a lot of people are like, oh, I never even thought about it, right? Whereas crashes are maybe more likely to affect more people, but the thing is, I mean, again, most people aren't reporting these crashes, which means they didn't hit them, which means these don't impact their experience, right? So in a thing like this that is mostly improvements and tweaks, like on the one hand, yeah, it's good to have all these improvements. On the other hand, to what degree is this going to affect the average person in the beta's experience of the compiler? And the answer is it's mostly not, except this is going to cause people some inconvenience, this thing we did the other day. But in the aggregate, the thing is, you don't notice all these changes, but in the aggregate, they mean there's less crap that's going to be buggy and trip you up at some point in the future, right? Like this thing and this thing. So, you know, it's good, but it's not like adding a major feature to the compiler or something. How many people are working on this game? Right now, it depends who you count. There's like 8 or 9. There's 9 now as of tomorrow. People full time. But there's a bunch of people. Part time. So, there's some audio peeps that are working part time. There's some people helping me with design who are working part time. We have a producer who's working a very small number of hours right now. So, the number of people who are contributing is more. Let's just say that. We killed the must monster, yes. What's the most requested features by beta people? Random ass syntax changes that I don't care about yet is the most requested change. Yeah. Okay. The plugin system change is going to be good. I think that'll make them more serious and better. Yeah, like this one's going to be good for people. It's just most people aren't ever going to notice this probably, but it'll enable people who do use it to make better, modules and stuff that other people can use. So that's all good. That's all good. The performance report is better. It's all good. Do I ship it tonight is the question. I feel like this is enough values to ship it. Right? Okay, so... Wait, was that the compiler to do? No. This is the wrong to do. Okay, so maybe we'll ship this tonight. Maybe I'll wait till the morning when I'm not tired and won't make a mistake. I don't know. It's like seeing a list of curbs you could have tripped over but hadn't reached yet. Yeah, I mean, that's a good description. And the thing is, you may never have hit most of them, but the chance of hitting something at some point is substantial, Is the rationale in removing postfix casting based on user feedback or just based on overall interaction with the rest of the language? What I would say is, just for the same reason we're removing must, like, you don't want the language to be more complicated than it really needs to be for what functionality it provides, because progress is limited by complexity, right? Like everything we do, every feature we try to add has to deal with how complicated the whole compiler is and all this stuff, right? And so we just want to constantly keep complexity low, and having 3 different cast syntaxes like we have right now is not the simplest way to do things. Let's put it that way. And so just as a matter of general principle, I don't think it's a good idea to maintain all of those. And I sort of did it. Was it in December or something? I just sort of did it on a whim, like, screw it. Let's just see how these feel. Now, the thing is, in my personal programming. Part of my thesis in doing that was, hey, I'll try out the casts and see how they feel. But what happened was I put in these other casts and then I just keep using the old one because the old one is fine for me. Maybe function style casts are better. I don't know. Here's the thing is I haven't run into a situation where an old style cast was inconvenient again, which was part of the thesis. Like, oh, these are inconvenient sometimes, so this other thing will fix it. So that's just the situation, is we just shouldn't have 3 ways to cast things. We should probably have one. Maybe a secondary weird hack, but there's already other casting. There's already like auto cast versus not and all this stuff, right? Like we don't need this to be super complicated. Discord seems to have a vocal group that use postfix. Yeah, but like that example that was posted today sure isn't the kind of programming that I want to encourage. So, you know. So yeah. We did bring in architects to work on the Witness. For this game, we did not do that. It's a very different game. And we... it's more being worked on by core game industry kind of roles, like audio person, you know, sound effects, music, art, designer, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Anyway, this is it's also good that we have this much value to deliver because last week's was like the longest gap in a beta in the history of the betas. We went March 4 to May 11. And it's just because I got busy with a lot of stuff on the game, you know. So shipping another one soon is good. Losing XX would be hard. Yeah. Well, okay. So the whole thesis behind XX, like it is weird, right? But my experience was, especially early on in working on this compiler, I was converting over stuff from other languages, which maybe now you would do with AI or something, right? In the long term. So maybe this use case doesn't matter anymore, but I would be converting all this C++ code or C code that's incredibly sloppy about numerical types because that's just how C and C++ are. And a lot of other languages too, because they don't have casting that makes sense. So we did numeric casting that makes sense. But, you know, when you're converting code from somewhere else, until you fix all that, it's not going to work, right? It'll complain and you have to cast everything. And the thing is, when you have to cast all these things, when you're converting all this code, all you just want is for it to compile at first, right? You're just like, look, I've got 3,000 lines of some C program and I ran a bunch of Emacs search and replaces to try to get it into the right syntax. And I'm doing all these changes and I just want it to compile. And so XX is like a minimal fast thing you can type without even having to hit the shift key is the design anytime you see something. And the problem is, everything else was already... comma was not taken at that time, but it seemed weird to do that. Dot was taken. / is a comment, of course. We could use single quote for it. That's kind of weird, but we could use it instead of X. Like, XX is a weird hack that we probably do want to change eventually. But that was the design, is like, let you just type something really fast to jump around to all the points in the file where you need to do this and just make it work, right? So, guessing the extra cast removal will be kind of slow like Warn at first. Yeah, we always do that where possible. That's the general policy. Once in a while, we don't do that when it's just more of a headache to do it than to just break things. But yeah, we would definitely just warn on use for a number of betas until it's deprecated. You did hit some speed bumps with U8 times 100. Yeah. I mean, that's just a difference between the type system here and the type system in C. We've had one or two discussions about this. I don't like. The problem is if U8 times 100 is a bigger integer, then all of a sudden you can't type check anything. Because you're going to want to store that in a... You're going to want to store U8 times 2 in a U8, and now you can't because it's big without explicitly casting it. That sucks. Or you have to throw out all the type checking. That sucks. What should have happened when you did U8 times 100 is you should have got an arithmetic overflow check, right? Maybe we don't do that correctly for U8, but yeah. Yeah, cast open paren close paren is really annoying because it's a word and then shift and then 2 punctuations. In many C languages, it would just overflow. Well, no. So the C specification says that in that case, it casts the result to int. Before the times is computed, right? So they were very concerned about this problem, and they wanted to be sure that you could say U8 times 100 and it would work. And so they do that, but then what that means is now int has to be able to silently cast down to U8, which is actually very bad. And is one of the sources of C bugs that are all over the place, right? So, I mean, I think what my approach for that would be is to maybe look at the experience that you had with the U8 times 100 and try to figure out, are there more things we can do so that people realize faster what is going on there, right? I mean, you could even imagine, I mean, if we're just daydreaming, like, look, imagine the editor has syntax highlighting and it has the output of all the type checking like the codex file has. And we just put a yellow warning squiggle under it or make it glow or something, right? As like, this is weird. Maybe that's, maybe we want something more basic than that for just command line operation. I don't know. Some of these things, it's not clear what is the right answer. So the best we can do is just make people's day-to-day experience, 10% better somehow. I definitely want to go to bed. So that I was playing Doom a lot for a couple days, and I was doing the stay up till 2 a.m. playing game. And staying up till 2 a.m. by itself is not that big a deal, but like for 2 days in a row, grinding an action shooter like that for 8 hours a day, that just makes my brain tired in a weird way. So I'm starting to feel that now. But we got our bug fixes in. I doubt that we would do interns right now, but I could take a look. I mean, the thing is, we're at an inflection point where it's like we got to do a ton of work to like ship this next game in a year, which is when I want to have it done, approximately ish, right? And so that's just like everybody's got a crank, right? And it's just not an open, spacious time to have someone on who's like, um, hasn't done this kind of stuff and doesn't know how it works and wants people to show them things and stuff. There are times that are better for that. Um, like this project has been going a long time. So there are many years that would have been better for that, but this year is not the year for that. Hog cranking time? I don't know what that means, but it sounds bad. It sounds like something I don't want to be doing. All right, let's find someone to raid because we haven't raided in a little bit. Who is on software and game development? C++ game dev. Amazing mazes. Dude, Adam C. Eunice is literally streaming 100% of the time for many years on end. It's just how it is. Year end, one brain cell tied behind his back, powerlifting. Okay, great. This guy's got crabs. Why do people advertise that they have crabs? Just go to the doctor. You don't have to tell everybody about your problem. Just take care of the problem. All right. We're going to raid Evil Dojo 666 because we played Doom. Please be supportive and good people. And thanks, everybody. I'll see you later.